£30 million. Tom Ingle has the story.
A civic statement in Portland stone. But at 82 years young, Sheffield's Central Library is showing its age. It requires millions of pounds of repairs, say the City Council, and they've got someone to potentially foot the bill, as long as you don't mind the library checking out permanently.
This approach actually enables us, one, to develop a major economic project of a new 5-star hotel in the city, which will bring jobs and investment to the city. It has the opportunity to protect and give a long-term future for much loved listed buildings. It removes a significant financial problem for the council.
The Chinese developers who have pledged £1 billion to Sheffield say this Grade 1 listed building would be ideal for a luxury hotel. The council cabinet are being asked to give them 12 months to explore the idea further. Ultimately, if the scheme goes ahead, the library would move elsewhere.
Well, I think that's outrageous. I really do. I think really we're getting too much of this.
But we need that. We need to use a camera sometime to use. Yeah, very important.
Why? It's a lovely building. It's beautiful. I love coming here. I come every week.
It will probably be good for the structural enhancement because it has become a little dilapidated. On the other hand, it's quite an historic landmark.
Well, there's quite a few hotels around here already. It's quite nice to have that, public building still there.
Jay Wong runs the Oi Soy restaurant in Sheffield city centre and has been part of the team developing the new era Chinese village on Bramall Lane.
As a Sheffield citizen, any sort of investment is good for the city. It really doesn't matter whether the funding is from European, from somewhere else, as long as it's rooted and it can literally happen within the city. And that will give a lot of direct benefits to the local citizens.
The council have also revealed the Chinese investors have already engaged a Sheffield firm to design a copy of this Don Valley Secondary School for the city of Chengdu. There are plans for a twinning relationship too. But tonight, where there is supposed to be silence, there will surely be debate. A public building, a private proposal. Bedtime reading for Sheffield City Cabinet. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
New research by the BBC shows the North West is due to receive billions of pounds more than Yorkshire to pay for improved road, rail and internet connections. Now, over the next 4 years, the North West of England is earmarked to get over £41 billion in infrastructure spending, but in comparison, Yorkshire will get just over £9 billion. Now, tomorrow the government will unveil its autumn statement, so will Yorkshire lose out on investment to the North West? Our data journalist, David Rhodes, has more.
Just about everything you've done today has involved some form of infrastructure, getting to work, using the internet or keeping the lights on. So Rich, just tell us, how many people have you got working here?
We've got 1,000 here in Leeds and another 100 in Sheffield.
Sky Bet are one of Yorkshire's biggest employees, and infrastructure has an impact on how they can recruit staff.
We surveyed people that were in the job market and looking to move. 63% said they would consider moving to London, 48% Manchester, 34% disappointingly Leeds. And the main reason they said they wouldn't move to Leeds was that the commute was too long. 50% of people said that. The big areas we'd like to see improvement in would be transport around north.
Spending on infrastructure is important because it stimulates economic growth. More growth means, in theory, more jobs in a new age economy. This is what a modern economy looks like. And infrastructure is no longer just about moving heavy goods and services around the country. Infrastructure is now about people. And it is people like Andrew who know what an infrastructure and internet void feels like.
It was horrendous. We had speeds of less than 0.3 megabytes. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't work, you couldn't watch any movies, you couldn't play any games.
To fill that void, a local entrepreneur has built a mast and installed a wireless network in the village of Treeton in South Yorkshire.
It's been a massive difference. There's quite a few people who do work from home locally, and it's helped them massively. So yeah, it's been great.
That entrepreneur is Chris Falstone, who now has 300 customers.
People in and around this village really do struggle, and I think the way that the funding has been used by Open Region similar providers has left big gaps, and people are suffering as a result of that gap.
The government's already announced this week £1 billion extra to tackle poor internet connections, and Yorkshire's Conservative MPs say the region won't miss out.
I think these figures are subjective, and the key thing is that
Gillian Smith, MP for Skipton, and we've
amounts of money to the north, and the bigger and more important question in my mind as a Yorkshire MP is how do we make sure that we get as much of the investment as possible. That is going to come. I think there'll be hopefully some exciting announcements tomorrow in the autumn statement.
The Prime Minister and her ministers will no doubt mention the Northern Powerhouse tomorrow, but many will ask, currently, is only half the Northern Powerhouse being funded? David Rhodes, BBC Look North, Leeds.
The man accused of killing the Labour MP Joe Cox has chosen not to give any evidence at his trial. Thomas Mayer from Birstall has denied murder and 3 other charges. His barrister said the defence would not call any witnesses. He said Mr Mayer had no previous convictions or cautions. The judge has now begun summing up, urging the jury to try Mr Mayer without emotion, however distressing, disturbing and tragic the case had been. Anti-fracking campaigners wearing the white rose of Yorkshire have demonstrated outside the High Court in London. The residents of Kirkby Misperton in Rydale are trying to block a decision to allow the controversial process near their homes. In a landmark application with environmental groups Friends of the Earth, they're asking a judge to rule the decision unlawful and quash it. Our business correspondent Danny Hewson was at the hearing today.
The imposing structure of the High Court provided the backdrop to this, the latest saga. Campaigners say fracking shouldn't be allowed in North Yorkshire and mounted this legal challenge. It follows North Yorkshire County Council's decision last May to grant planning permission to Third Energy for a site at Kirkby Misperton. But campaigners say that they failed to properly take into account climate change because they didn't look at data around actually burning the gas. They also say a bond should have been put in place to deal with clean-up.
It's not as though we're big, sort of tree-hugging, green environmentalist campaigners. I'm an accidental campaigner. We want guarantees it's 100% safe, and I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing, well, it's safe enough. Well, that's not gold standard for me. It's not gold standard for the community. And I think, our MPs need to sit down and really think about the long-term prospects if this industry takes hold.
In defence, the council's barrister said that burning gas at the Knapton generating plant emissions there had already been weighed, and they also said May's decision only looked at the site in Kirkby Misperton. It also said any legacy issues, conditions were in hand. Tomorrow we'll hear from representatives of Third Energy, and then the judge will decide whether or not to quash the planning decision, sending it right back to the planning committee. But that decision may come about in a few weeks' time.
Just time for a look at tonight's football results with a great night of action for our teams. Bradford City returned to winning ways thanks to a second-half header from James Hansen, beating Northampton 1-0. Chesterfield were 2-1 down for a time at Milton Keynes, but they fought back and they won 3-2. And Sheffield United won 1-0 against Bury, that goal coming 3 minutes into extra time. Well, you're now fully up to date with the late news. Keely's here now with a forecast. Much milder tonight, isn't it, than it was yesterday?
Yeah, we've got a lot more cloud, a lot more settle as we go through the next few days. Today was horrible, wasn't it? Over 2 inches of rain fell in some spots across Yorkshire. But Amy's right, everything's settling down over the next few days. Tomorrow, not a great start to the day. There'll still be some residual drizzle from the overnight period, but there will be...
We'll start brightening.
As well. And that's because high pressure is going to dominate over the next few days. Not necessarily sunny, although I think Thursday and Friday will fare quite nicely. And when we do get any breaks in the cloud, particularly overnight, it will feel chilly with the risk of frosts. No frost tonight, too much cloud around. That cloud producing some patchy rain and drizzle as we head through the rest of the night. And quite a murky grey night too, with still fog across the Pennines and temperatures down to around 4 or 5 degrees. So tomorrow, a grey, damp start to the day. We are going to see an improvement. It might be a slow one in places, particularly across parts of South Yorkshire, but it will become drier and eventually brighter too, perhaps even some afternoon sunshine. Quite breezy along the coast and the breeze down from the north, so it will feel cool, temperatures getting up to around 7 or 8 degrees. Looking further ahead, Thursday and Friday don't look bad at all. In fact, there should be some sunshine by day, but that probably means that by night we'll get some cloud breaks too, and that means we're looking at the risk of a frost. High pressure still dominates into the weekend, but I think we will start to pick up a bit more clouds, and that cloud could be thick enough for a little bit of drizzle. Cool by day, frosty by night, but Thursday and Friday don't look too bad. That's it on the late team. Here at Look North, I'll leave you with your summary